for me? All right, so the Flexner Report. I'm gonna bring this a little closer so I can read my slides, So in 1910, the report was standardized for medicine, but eliminated traditional approaches. It was funded by Rockefeller. Okay, Rockefeller had made so much money from the oil business, but back in the 1930s, there were not a whole lot of cars. So he had to find something else that could use his oil products. So before the Flexner Report in 1910, yes, there was diverse medical traditions. Again, there was homeopathy. All of those medical traditions that I named, they were flourishing, and they were working well. It wasn't that people were dying on the street. It wasn't that these herbs were killing people, or laying on of hands, or faith healing, or trances that some of the shamans would put people in to heal them. Nobody was getting hurt by these. Nobody was dying. So we didn't need to reform medicine because we wanted to improve health. The people who reformed medicine, they wanted to improve profit, not health. Okay, so what they did was they imposed standardized laboratory-based curriculum, this double-blind placebo-controlled study. And if it can't pass a double-blind placebo-controlled study, then it's considered to be unscientific. So what happened is that that Rockefeller, he started the Carnegie Institute, and the Carnegie Institute started investigating how chemicals and drugs, they partnered with DuPont in order to make drugs, in order to corner the medicine market. Okay, that was their goal. How do we control medicine? Because they saw it was huge profits in this. Okay, so what they did was they wanted, yes.
Two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is this when you've noticed a shift from actually healing medicine to let's keep people sick to make money off of medicine? And
Exactly. You can't sell drugs if people aren't sick. And here's the deal. If you make a drug, they will try to create a sickness that causes you to use the drug. And in another podcast, I'm going to talk about how all these made up syndromes and symptoms are really tied to just selling drugs. They just put together a lot of things and say, hey, look, this will take away all these symptoms. Let's call it a syndrome. Let's put it on a commercial and say, hey, here's an illness that you might have, and we have the cure. And that's what it's all about. Okay. I always said that healthcare has nothing to do with health. It has to do with money. And this whole system of medicine that we have is based on profit. We live in a capitalistic society, and this is capitalism. You just have to be aware of it. It's all about, when we talk about mindset, it's all about being aware. Okay. What is going on? What are these commercials trying to get me to do? What are the pharmaceutical companies trying to get me to do? Okay. And if you are aware of what's happening, you can make a conscious decision either to go that route or to not go that route. I made the decision when I read a book called Racketeering in Medicine that talked about the Flexner Report. And that's what got me questioning what I had learned in medical school. Because you need to understand, medical schools are funded by the pharmaceutical industry. Okay. That's who gives them grants to study things. Okay. So what is the pharmaceutical company going to give you a grant to study? It's going to give you a grant to study their medicine, their drug. And if you want grant money to keep coming, if at all possible, you want to have a positive outcome when you test that drug. So there's an incentive for the FDA and for the pharmaceutical industry and for the educational business, our medical schools, to look positively on drugs, because that's where their profit comes from, and to look negatively on the competition, which is functional medicine. And that's what functional medicine and compounding pharmacists, and all of these non-allopathic traditions, they got demonized because you have to get rid of the competition if you're going to maximize your profits.